Okay, so I wanted to make a video on essentially leg counting and the details of trade management that I've been, workshopping for quite a while. So the first thing is, the trades that I talk about itself. If you're just watching my channel for the first time, all I talk about all the time is the 3 bar micro channel. So every bar that's lit up is it's just 3 consecutive bull or bear bars in a low. That's all that in a row. That's all that it is. But there's a 76% chance that before an 150% stop is run, so we have 100%, 150%, there's a 76% chance that you get a symmetrical second leg from the high of the first bar to the close of the third bar within 2 ticks. You can see here, it may have gotten within 2 ticks. I don't exactly know on this one, but if you go through and look at every single 3 bar micro channel that's happened for whatever duration of time, you're going to get a 76% chance that you get within 2 ticks of a symmetrical second leg. One of my reasons for making this video is there's a 91% chance of you getting a symmetrical second leg that is half the size of this. So there's a 91% chance that you get at least half the size of this. And if you're trading in a way where your goal is to capture that symmetrical second leg, there are going to be times where your trade goes wrong. And so using that half an R, if I sell the close of bar 13, 12 or 13, then I get 14 and 15 against me, I have peace of mind knowing that there's a 91% chance I'm going to get a leg that's at least half the range of this. And that is going to allow me out pretty close to break even. Now, what I'm talking about, there are obviously a lot of trades where you buy the close 33 and it goes your way pretty immediately. But if you sold here, 14 and 15 is a bad situation because 15 is perfect follow through. The way that I'm defining perfect follow through is a bar. So when you get a swing trade set up, go pick a swing trade. And when the follow through is larger than the bar, 15 is larger than 14 and closes, stronger than 75% of the range of the bar. And this is 75% right here. And it closes basically above that area. That's basically perfect follow through. Obviously, since it closed basically on its high, that is actually perfect follow through. But when I get a swing trade against me and it gets perfect follow through, I now need to look for a way out. And so, in this particular situation, what leg is it, right? This is another really important thing. If I'm trading in leg 4 and I get a swing trade against me with perfect follow through, I'm going to be pretty eager to get out. And a really easy way to simplify leg counting is what leg is it not? Because people confuse themselves. They'll say, well, it might be, leg 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it could be leg 5. It could be leg 4. The question you should actually be asking yourself is it leg 1? Because you can change it down to, is this an early leg or a late leg? Because the reality is, if it's leg 3 or leg 4, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter past leg 1 or leg 2, right? If you can look at something confidently, 14, 15, 16, and say, oh, we're in leg 1. Okay, well, now I'm going to defend my position. And I'm more willing to go down with the ship. If my leg 1 stop gets run, so be it. But it's higher than 76% in leg 1 that you're going to get those symmetrical second legs. And I say 91% chance of you getting at least half an R, but I went and looked at, I think there was 11 examples. I went through 134 3 bar micro channels. So there was 11 examples where, I believe it was 11. I know it averaged out to 91% success rate, but there was 11 examples where when I went through them where it did not get a half an hour, and the vast majority of them were either late legs, like very late legs, or selling on a bull trend day or buying on a bear trend day. So situations where, we had a bull trend the whole day. This is more of a trading range. This isn't a good example, but something like if we had been having a bull trend for 50, 60, 70 bars, and then you get 3 bear bars, those are the kinds of situations where sometimes you don't get that. That's where that 9% tended to occur. So I found almost no examples. I think I found one example. I think I have like 60 plus examples of leg 1. And I think I found one example where you don't get at least half of a symmetrical or half an R of a symmetrical second leg. So with that being said, boil it down to, keep trading simple. Is it leg 1? No. Okay. Is it leg 2? No. Okay. Then it doesn't matter. I don't care if it's leg 3 or 37. It's not leg 1 and it's not leg 2. Then it's a late leg. That's all that matters. And if you can look at something and say, yes, this is leg 1, well, then I'm gonna buy and I'm gonna scale in which I did on this day. I did take the short and I exited, I think at the close of 15. But had I done more research at that time, I probably would have stayed in and gotten out around break even and then went long. And then I did take the buy and I scaled in all the way down. Now, there's something to be said for 18 is so I just went over my 2-bar surprise, right? The bull bar and follow through that's larger than the bull bar, or larger than the swing trade, essentially, is 2-bar surprise. And I'm going to go over 1 and 3 in a members video. The management's going to be relatively similar as long as you understand that. I'm giving you 80% of the information, but this is just one example, and I'm going to be going over 5 total examples, or sorry, 5 more examples in a video that I'm going to put in the members area. If you're watching this video, it's already posted. But again, this is a free one, and it's most of the stuff is the same. It's just more examples and more details on things. But the general concept is the same in that if you get a breakout against you in a late leg swing trade and good follow through, you need to look for a way out. And there's a 91% chance of you getting a half an R. So that'll usually let you out at break even if you're scaling in the way that I talk about. Excuse me, the way that I talk about all the time, where you're trading to close and taking those scale in trades. Very, very high. Your average cost ends up being around 50%. And so high probability that you're going to get out close to break even. And again, in leg 1, I'm willing to be more aggressive. I'm willing to buy and scale into this trade and hold. In leg 2, maybe still somewhat aggressive. And then leg 3 and leg 4, like this, or whatever leg you want. I don't care how you count it. It's not leg 1. I'm going to be a lot less aggressive, and I'm going to be probably trying to get out of the trade rather quickly. So basically, if you're taking a leg 1 trade and you lose, that's fine. If you're taking a leg 4 trade and it starts to reverse against you, you need to find a way out. All right, I think that is everything I wanted to cover for this particular example. Like I said, the big thing to remember is that 76% chance you get a symmetrical second leg within 2 ticks, and a 91% chance you get at least half of that. The half is useful for when the trade starts going against you and you use that to get out of your trade. The full symmetrical second leg is useful for when the trade goes in your favor, like this. You get a pullback, you can buy more. In situations like this, where you're trying to make money versus situations where you're trying to not lose money. Because what you'll find is when you scale in, those 24% losers will crush all of your winners. But if you learn to get out of those 24% losers and you start only losing like 10% of the time or something along those lines, you're going to start doing really well. I had a really good week this week because I avoided every single loss. There was 3 trades that I took that would have been big losses, and I got out all 3 at break even. And my profit factor was a 4.25 instead of what it usually is, which is a 1 or something along those lines. This month it's a 1.5 because I had some months where some times where I was getting crushed. But if I can, I'm not going to be able to sustain a 4.2. I'm proud of that number because it was a good week, but that's not going to be a sustainable number for me. I'm still going to take some full losses, but this should be able to reduce them. Is essentially my goal in making this video, is how to reduce those large losses. And again, being careful against, trading well against the regime. I made a video on regime, but being careful trading against a bull trend, basically. Don't sell in a bull trend, rule 1 of just trading in general. But all right, that is going to be it for this video. Like I said, if you're watching the end of this, there's already 5 other examples in a video posted in the members area, just going over, the 1 and 3 bar surprise versus the 2 bar. But the management usually ends up staying the same. It's just a couple extra definitions and details. All right, that's it.